Hello and welcome to SOUQ Pulse. It's the Friday edition. That's particular end of the week where we are meant to relax, take it easy, and just kick out our legs. But on SOUQ Pulse, can we actually do that? Can we relax when the dollar is still above 1,000 naira for those in Nigeria, or when it's still trying to punch the cedis silly for those in Ghana, or when the Zimbabweans are actually looking for gold to back up their currency? So how can we relax? Can we relax when things that we should stand up and own, we treat as if it belongs to somebody else that we don't even know, and tomorrow we cry and shout that we need these same things? Here on SOUQ Pulse, we have this straight tagline. I will tell you, don't keep quiet, keep talking. When we see that things need to change, we talk. When we see that things have changed, we also talk. When we see that business are progressing, we shout it. When we see that business are not doing well, we call ourselves, pull our ears, and we talk. When we see that monies are being taken and they are being used for what they are meant for, we talk. When those loans are also taken and those loans are being misappropriated, we also talk. It's SOUQ Pulse. And we say productivity is something Africa must embrace if we must survive. So we say welcome. Welcome to the Friday edition. Welcome to the end of the week edition of SOUQ Pulse. My name is SOUQ, John Rogers SOUQ. We are asking you this direct question. Everyone says Africa needs to get productive. Everyone says we need to improve things. Government needs to create an enabling environment. That means different things to different people. Now let's talk about things that are on ground. Who has the responsibility? Who has the responsibility to maintain Africa's infrastructures? You heard me right. Like word for word. Me, you, government, I don't know who the fourth party is, but who has that responsibility to make sure this infrastructure, no matter which country you are from, those things that have been built, or those particular things that were there before you came, whose responsibility is to keep them running, to keep them operational, to make sure they are safe, to make sure they work, to make sure they are in a pristine condition? That's where we are heading to today. And to start this particular discussion, there is no other person to call on than someone that has the experience, someone that has been there, someone that saw a lot of this particular thing being built in West Africa. Maybe a lot of countries in Africa, because he's also well-traveled. Please join me as I welcome a veteran broadcaster, Bayo Olaoye. Sir, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here, SOUQ. I'm excited about this issue of infrastructure.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. Earlier on today, when you were bringing my attention to this beyond the topic itself, I saw the passion in your eye, and I saw not just the passion, I saw the bitterness, somewhere mixed with what you were saying. And I was asking myself, you saw a lot of this being built. You saw the condition they were when they were built, and seeing them now. Now, we say we need government to build this, build that. We say we have this, we don't have that. Now, for everybody from your different countries, the one that is present now, what's the condition? How does it look like? Now, that's where we are going to first. We're going to look at the infrastructure. Let's start with Lagos.
Yes.
What are the things we have in Lagos?
Yes.
How were they when you knew them? How are they now?
Thank you, SOUQ. In all my 74 years, I've been in Lagos. Except maybe 8 years when I went to Loyola College for my secondary school, and maybe 3 years when I went for the BBC training in London. I've been in Lagos all along.
But so you didn't add the okay, if you do a summation of the days you've been traveling across,
yes,
you didn't add that part of it.
I didn't add that one,
okay,
because I traveled a lot when I was covering the State House with SOUQ Shagari. I don't want to include that. But I want to talk about infrastructure, especially on the Lagos Island.
Okay.
You know that when I was a teenager, the Marina was a source of pleasure. You could go to the Marina, take a nap, take a walk, read books, or discuss with friends, or just have a nice time. Enjoy the breeze. Right now, the Marina shoreline is in a sham. It's a disgrace. Right from Leventis there, right down to in front of our building here, in front of our office here, it's unbelievable the amount of erosion that has gone ran the whole foreshore. In the 70s, at the second, where you have the second marina now, we used to have somewhere called Quayside. That is it's a place where you could go in and buy cheap things that have been exported. Cheap things, sunglasses, T-shirts, shirts, trousers, jewelry, clothes generally. But now, that's not happening. And I remember that in those days, you could just walk across the marina down to the other side and enjoy music with the likes of Alex O, Uran Fadaka, the late Jimmy Sholanke. You know, he had Batakoto. There was a nightclub called Batakoto.
When you say walking across the marina?
That's walking from the Leventis across to the other side. Where you have the second marina now, you used to have Quayside, where sheep coming from all over the world will come and dance. And in the evenings, they will sell cheap things to young people. We were young, you know, sunglasses, shoes, socks, trousers, and what have you.
So we're looking at the tourist potential that was there before. It's no longer there.
No longer there.
Okay.
Then I come down to the 25 stories, which I did a story about recently. You can see that the 25 stories is more or less like a den for hoodlums.
The 25 stories
just across
behind,
the street,
behind us. Okay, I think that was part of the square.
The square. The square, the TBS itself, is in shambles. Apart from the cricket oval that has been refurbished, if you get inside, you find out that not much has been done to the TBS since it was converted from race course, you know. And then you go down to the Federal Secretariat in Ikoyi. That is a very, it's in a bad shape. We better not describe it.
That's the Federal Secretariat.
Federal Secretariat Ikoyi.
The completed building or the uncompleted, because there are two sets of, there is a completed one, there's an uncompleted
Everything
one.
has been completed. Don't forget that I was at the opening ceremony of this edifice.
Okay.
And when I was in Region Nigeria, I was always coming there to see ministers and talk with them and interview them. But now it's in litigation.
Okay.
Between whatever and the Lagos State government. The Lagos government wants to buy, the federal government doesn't want to let go. So you have a crisis. And there are thousands and thousands of hoodlums living there with some kind of arrogance.
Okay. And these are all national assets.
These are all national assets.
These are all assets.
Over 500 or 600 offices.
And these are assets that could really drive tourism
even
also.
If you want to sell them, you could still, the school, we could still earn money from them. But to leave them as it is now is unpardonable for government, for us, the people, and for the professionals too, architects, engineers, and what have you. That we have all kept our eyes shut while this building is degenerating and is turning into a den of robbers. Then I'll go to the P&T headquarters, just around about there. My last estimate.
When you say P&T, can you tell us what P&T
Post
means?
and Telegraph, something.
Okay.
Just beside the bank there.
Now you're communicating.
Yes. The headquarters on Moloney Street there.
Okay.
It has been abandoned for the past 11 years and has been overtaken by over 1,000 squatters. You can quote me, 1,000 squatters. And if you go there in the evening, you want to be funny, you want to be official, or you want to take pictures, or you want to ask people about what is happening,
and
you're on your own.
And that particular building has a lot of history.
A lot of history, yes. A lot of history. But nobody cares. There was a time the Lagos State government set up a committee headed by distinguished Alhaji Femi Kunu to take an audit of all Lagos State property in Lagos that have been abandoned. Nothing has been done about that. Nothing has been done about that committee. That committee is moribund, and we are watching helplessly.
Okay.
Then you have the Cabinet Office.
Where is that?
The Cabinet Office is opposite TPS. It got burnt about 20 years ago, and it's still there. It is still there. The rot is all staring at us in the face. It's still there.
The Cabinet Office used to house
the Prime Minister
okay.
and his cabinet in those days.
Wow.
When the military left, there was a fire incident, and we thought it could be renovated, but up to now, 21 years ago, nothing has been done about it. Then I come to the pinnacle, what would I call the pinnacle? The National Stadium at SOUQ. Many promises have been made by government that they will refurbish it, they will give it to a private investor to renovate and hand over to government. But as it is now, as far as I'm concerned, the National Stadium is just a place for hotels and restaurants. People just go there to go and drink beer in the evening. That is a national stadium for you, chooks, where we're supposed to groom talents and showcase our sporting potential. But it's a shame. It's a shame. Unfortunately, right across is Teslim Balogun Stadium, which has been taken over by the Lagos State government and has been improved upon. You need to see the comparison. Then, if I come to my own area of jurisdiction, broadcasting, if you go to the Voice of Nigeria now, I think that's why the federal government wants to annex Voice of Nigeria with Radio Nigeria. There are about 11 studios there, built by the French government, but have been abandoned. And at the time, Voice of Nigeria was off the air for almost 6 months. That is an abandonment.
Okay. Now, let's take this discussion another way. For some of you that are wondering, why are we bringing this up? Now, we say we have to get productive. If you look at where he was coming from, he mentioned a whole lot of buildings that have a lot of historic significance. These are things that we should not just study in school, but places we want to visit. Tourism. You mentioned about the Marina. These are not places that should be developed, but even if how it was before was maintained, with or without the new development, and it's working, people get there. Tourism. We are looking for how to get people to work. We are looking for how industries can grow. We are looking for how people can put food on the table. So for every single brick that needs to be maintained, I'm not even talking about the building, for every single brick that needs to be maintained, every single floor that needs to be painted, every single flower that needs to be watered, we should take responsibility.
Yes. We have to thank the Minister of Works for what he's doing on the SOUQ Bridge, on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, and all our bridges. Because at a time, all the railings have been taken away, stolen. Okay,
now we are looking at vandalization.
That's vandalization.
Okay.
Vandalization because of abandonment. If there had been security on these bridges, people wouldn't have the nerve to go and remove railings. Now, he says he wants to put street lights, he wants to put cameras and all that.
On the 3rd Mainland Bridge?
3rd Mainland.
Okay, the last time I went through 3rd Mainland Bridge, they were fixing street lights on both sides.
That is an improvement.
Of the
3rd Mainland Bridge is an asset. It has to be protected and guarded. Unfortunately, you see the number of accidents we've had within the last 5 days.
Okay.
So all of us are guilty. The government is guilty, we are guilty, and the professionals, engineers, architects, town planners are turning the other eye, while the whole thing is rotting away.
So for the responsibility, we are all guilty.
All of us. All of us. All of us.
Okay, now let's look at the 3rd Mainland Bridge. The 3rd Mainland Bridge needed repairs.
Yes.
We were shouting. Everybody was shouting. Now the federal government has come and effected some good level of repairs. Now people are dying on the 3rd Mainland Bridge.
Because of
what excuse do we have?
Because of indulgence and indiscipline. How could you? There is a speed limit there.
Okay.
And in the Lagosians, in their usual dissemination, won't listen, won't adhere to that.
Because they've seen
a good road, which they have been clamoring for, and now you're just running without concern for other road users. So I think the government has done its best on the 3rd Mainland. All we have to do is for enforcement of the laws. The Federal Road Safety Corps, the traffic wardens, and the Nigerian police to collaborate that at least let people be sane when they are driving. Let them keep to the rules.
Okay, now the case of vandalism. Where and how can we start in tackling vandalism of government property, of our national treasures, because that is what these are? These infrastructures, how can we start saying if you vandalize or if you take away what is not, what you are not supposed to take away, or in any form spoil or use any form of gravity on it, how can we start in making sure that doesn't happen?
We have to
before we start thinking of punishment.
I'll talk about law enforcement. We have to enforce the law. And we have to keep an eye on these assets. Security has to be provided. I was coming to the city hall before you stopped me, and that is another anomaly. The city hall, symbolizing the image of Lagos State. Yes, it was destroyed by hoodlums during the NSAS, but government has not responded enough to repair that thing and get it working. So many offices are there that have relocated, and I think it's not proper for us. Chooks, we cannot talk about infrastructural abandonment without talking about our bus stops in Lagos. All the bus stops in Lagos have been turned to either sellers of Indomie noodles, of practically taken over by hoodlums. As a result, how many bus stops do we have on Lagos Island? The Korope's they don't appreciate any bus stop. They park anywhere, and they pick passengers anywhere.
Law enforcement, that's the duty of the law enforcement. Yes. Now, we need the beauty of Lagos for people
to be restored.
Yes. And we also need all these landmarks. We need people to know them. So you just leave your house and say, I want to go to Maloney. I want to go and see the P&T building. You leave your house, okay, I want to go and see the old cabinet building. And when you get there, if you want to go inside, even if it's just a token, if it's a token, we get to pay. If it's whatever, we know that we are generating funds not just for Lagos State. It could be for other individuals that can run businesses around the place. It could also be for the federal government.
Do you know, Chooks, that there's a love garden on Lagos Island? Love garden. Really? Love garden. Just behind the J.K. Randall Hall there in those days.
Love garden?
Love garden, yes.
And people fly to Italy to go and drop
There's a
pebbles,
love garden with flowers,
coins, and keys into a love fountain there.
With flowers, and people go there, really, lovers go there and enjoy themselves. Those things are not there anymore. Recreation centers are not there anymore. So we are more or less building hoodlums who cannot recreate, who cannot read. How many libraries do we have? Somebody has turned the only library you have in Nigeria, in Lagos Island, Central Library. He has turned it to whatever. Well, Central Library, Lagos Central Library, where all of us, including the governor, went to read and acquire knowledge. It has been abandoned. It has been turned into whatever, blood transfusion center or something. Just like your school of nursing here was abandoned, now demolished and taken to Epe. Those are the beautiful things in Lagos. What are you talking about? Okay.
We are, according to Baba, from his point, we are all responsible.
All of us.
Now, we will go into the second part, the part B of this particular program, SOUQ Pulse, today, and another guest will be joining us. I want to say, Baba, thank you very much. Now, for those of you that are wondering why I will bring in this, if that particular property that you're seeing by your side, that particular infrastructure, that particular thing, you think is not yours, yes, it is. You think it doesn't belong to you, yes, it does. You think it's not going to cost you, yes. It's taxpayers' money.
It's government property, leave it.
Exactly, government's property.
Government is our property.
Yes. Then tomorrow, when fuel goes higher, we all cry. But government needs money to fix those things. So why not make sure that it doesn't spoil, so it doesn't get fixed? So you keep having your money. We keep making more money. All across African countries, this is our sense and what we say imbibe. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
I'm most grateful.
I'm grateful.